Hello, my name is Jeff Honda. I'm the Associate Dean for Graduate Programs in the College of Graduate Studies. Welcome to today's presentation entitled The Chancellor's Doctoral Incentive Program Information Presentation for Academic Year 2021-2022. With me today, I have Associate Dean Amy Leisenring, Professor Catherine Cushing, and recipient and doctoral candidate Jason DeHaan. And I'd like to ask all three of them to introduce themselves and provide a little bit more information about them.
Hi, I'm Dr. Amy Leisnering. I'm the Associate Dean of Inclusive Student Success for the College of Graduate Studies.
Hi everyone, my name is Catherine Cushing. I'm a professor in environmental studies and I'm also the executive director of Communiversity here at San Jose State.
And I'm Jason DeHaan. I am a lecturer in the sociology department and I'm also a doctoral candidate at the University of Oregon.
Thank you all for joining us today. So, what is the Chancellor's Doctoral Incentive Program? The program essentially was started, I believe, in 1987, and its objective was to support aspiring doctoral candidates and build a CSU faculty recruitment pool as diverse as our student body. The program gives financial loans and provides mentor support to full-time graduate students pursuing doctoral degrees at accredited U.S. universities. The other potential benefit is that a portion of the Cdip loan will be forgiven for every year of CSU employment after participants receive their doctoral degrees and obtain a qualifying instructional position in a CSU campus. Okay, so just a little bit about the financial support. There is a loan that is given and you can receive up to $10,000 per year with a maximum amount of $30,000 over the duration of your doctoral study if you get into a doctoral program. This loan is forgivable at the rate of 20% for each year of full-time postdoctoral teaching employment in the CSU. So after 5 years, if you're working full-time at the CSU, your loan can be completely forgiven. Mentorship by a CSU faculty mentor, a collaborative plan to support your professional development in teaching, research, and service activities while you're in graduate school is provided by the CSU faculty mentor. So you really have two things going for you. And although a lot of people think that the financial support is a real perk for this program, when you talk to a lot of these recipients, most of them say that actually the mentoring and the experience in working with a CSU faculty member was probably the best part of this Cdip program. Okay, so some other things that the program supports is a mini grant program. So you can earn up to $2,500 for the Cdip scholar and $1,200 for the faculty mentor. So this funding supports research, teaching, or creative activities for the Cdip scholar projects. There's also a travel grant program, which allows up to $1,200 per trip for the Cdip scholar and the faculty mentor to participate in workshops or conferences. So they can, both you, the recipient, as well as the mentor, can use this funding to go to conferences together, to make trips to institutions, and any other type of travel that you might need to help with your program. So this is, you can use this funding twice annually, so you have biannual applications that you can fill out. Now, given the COVID situation right now, we're a little bit in flux as far as whether or not these travel grants will be provided, but this currently is the information we'll be working with. And if you're a recipient, this information I think will be clarified later on throughout your program. So who can apply to the Cdip program? Undergraduate and master's level graduate students who apply to accredited doctoral programs in the United States, new or continuing full-time doctoral students enrolled in accredited programs in the United States, as well as lecturers enrolled full-time in doctoral programs. Special eligibility considerations. Be aware that applicants from professional doctoral degree programs, such as the doctoral nursing program or the doctorate in education, as well as online programs, both hybrid and fully online, may apply only if they plan to pursue a tenure track instructional faculty position and their doctoral program's mission explicitly includes preparation and training of future university faculty members. So it's very important if you are in a professional doctoral degree program that in your application you indicate that you're going to pursue a tenure track faculty position and that the institution that you're earning your doctoral program has some sort of language that outlines this mission of preparing future university faculty members. Additional eligibility information. You do not have to be a CSU student or employee to apply to the Cdip program. U.S. citizenship is not required, but applicants must be eligible to work in the United States, and past and current lecturers are encouraged to apply. Okay, I'll turn it over to Amy now, who's going to talk about the Cdip faculty mentor and interview some of our panelists here today. So,
Thanks,
Amy?
Jeff. Okay, so the Cdip faculty mentor's role, and Jeff talked about this a little bit already, is to support the Cdip scholar in their doctoral training. It's to help the Cdip scholar understand the workings of higher education institutions, especially the CSU, and the faculty labor market for the scholar's discipline. Mentors also help with the preparation of the Cdip application. So who can serve as a Cdip mentor? So if you are a student looking to find a mentor, if you're interested in applying for this program, you can approach full-time tenured track, tenured faculty members at one of the CSU campuses. Ideally, this person would be from the same or related discipline as you, the applicant, but it's not required. How should you go about finding a Cdip mentor? So if you are a current or former CSU student, you can reach out to an undergraduate advisor or someone that you had a close relationship with when you were an undergraduate student. You could, if you're a master's if you're a master's student, you could reach out to a research mentor or perhaps your special project or thesis advisor. You could also reach out to someone that you actually don't already have an established relationship with, but is a faculty member who does the kind of research that you want to pursue in your doctoral program. If you're a current or former CSU lecturer and you're interested in finding a mentor, you can think about the chair of the department that you teach in, or at least get their advice in who you might want to approach. And you can also reach out to a tenured or tenure track faculty member in your discipline who does the type of research that you're interested in doing. You could also approach someone that doesn't have ties to a CSU campus. So you could research the expertise of faculty at a number of CSU campuses and contact faculty who could potentially serve as your mentor. So now I wanted to turn to our mentor and mentee pair who have graciously agreed to talk to us a little bit about their experiences. So Professor Cushing and Jason. So I'll start off with a question for you, Jason. What made you decide that you were interested in this program?
Well, I heard about it from somebody else who was a member of the program, and I think immediately it was just the financial benefits stood out as being, really helpful for me. But then also just the opportunity to have some structured mentorship also really appealed to me as well, because I do think it's important. I've been teaching, I've been a lecturer for a while now, and as I'm working on my dissertation, I'm thinking about the job market and that sort of thing. There's just a lot that I don't know. about how to apply and how to prepare and that sort of thing. And so I felt like it would be a really great opportunity for me in that way, to have an opportunity to learn from somebody with a lot more experience.
And then how did you go about actually finding your mentor and approaching her to ask her to be your mentor?
So Catherine and I had worked before in Communiversity, and we had already established a relationship there. And Catherine's just always been really supportive of me, and we've always had a good working relationship. She's in environmental studies and I'm in sociology, but there's actually a lot of overlap in our interests and that sort of thing. And so she'd always just kind of been a great mentor for me and somebody that I looked up to. And so I decided to approach her to ask, just because I thought it would be a really good fit.
And Professor Cushing, so what made you decide to agree to work with Jason?
Well, I don't think I couldn't not work with Jason. I went back and looked at our emails. I think since 2015, when I came on board Communiversity as the associate director, Jason and I have kind of been involved in a Communiversity project or the Communiversity steering committee in some way. So we've known each other for 5 years, and I went back and I looked at all the different projects we collaborated on. So just last year, he collaborated with Communiversity and the Environmental Services Department for the City of San Jose on a public litter campaign, integrating, I want to say 100, was it 100 students you had? Yeah, 100 students, watching people's litter behavior and doing hundreds and hundreds of surveys of residents on their thinking about public litter and blight. So that was just one example of a project that Jason and I collaborated on. And I think our first project that we collaborated on was in 2015. We worked together with an urban planning student, and we created a geospatial application that you could use on a smartphone to track illegal dumping. Remember that, Jason? So we worked on that quite a bit. And that was kind of my first interaction with Jason on a project basis. And he was just so, he was so quick to understand like what was going on. I think we really connect on an intellectual level. Like he understands and I understand the need to really put the power of San Jose State faculty and students to work, supporting community identified needs. So I think that common sense of mission has really helped us maintain our relationship. And I don't think of it so much as like a mentor-mentee, it's like we're actually colleagues working together on a shared mission. So, I mean, I hope that he calls on me all the time, because it was, I was really happy to say yes. It was an honor.
Great, thank you. So Jason, you kind of touched on this a little bit, but what do you perceive as the biggest benefits of both the program are for you and then just having this mentorship opportunity?
Well, again, like the financial benefits are really important. My education has been pretty expensive, and I can just kind of watch the debt add up. And so there's that, and that's really important to me. But again, for me, I'm beginning to think about professional development, and that's something I've always kind of struggled with a bit, just because I haven't had a lot of experience, or it hasn't been anything I've really had to think about up to this point. So I know in a lot of cases there's the like teaching aspects of this, which I'm generally pretty comfortable with, and Catherine and I can work on some more. But for me, it was really just thinking about like going onto the job market and like going to events and that sort of thing, and presenting my research. And I think that's the one thing I'm looking forward to learning more about from Catherine, is just how to take advantage of those things, and how to structure presentations and be involved and that sort of thing. And also just to get involved in the university and establish those kinds of relationships too, because that's something that Catherine, she's well integrated into the university, and I think she could be a great mentor in that respect as well.
And so Jason, obviously you kind of met two qualifications for this program. You were a master's student at San Jose State, but also a lecturer. You've been a lecturer in the sociology department for a long time. And as a former sociology faculty member, I can say you're one of that department's very popular lecturers. So are your plans obviously to continue teaching at San Jose State, or do you think you might look elsewhere into the CSU system?
So I think, I really like San Jose State. I feel really established there, and I would consider myself very lucky if I were able to continue on at San Jose State. But I am open to considering other institutions as well. There are a lot of other great CSU institutions that I would love to teach at. But I really, at this point, I consider San Jose State home. And if I can stay here, then I would absolutely, jump at the opportunity to make that happen.
Great, thank you. And Professor Cushing, so you and Jason obviously had an established relationship working together prior to him asking you to serve as his mentor. We definitely have applicants who are not in that position. So what advice would you give to candidates who are looking for a mentor who might not necessarily have a working relationship with the person that they want to approach? So for you, let's say just someone came to you that you didn't have an ongoing working relationship with, what types of characteristics would you be looking for that would make that person be appealing as a potential mentee?
That's a great question, Amy. And I do advise master's students in the environmental studies program. So we do have a lot of that going on where master's students are accepted as a cohort, and then they kind of talk to a lot of different faculty members in our department hoping for a match. So I would just say, if you are a student who's considering applying for the program and still looking to find a mentor, it's someone who, if you could articulate the general direction you see yourself going for your research, that would be very helpful. If you have work experience that's related to the research direction you want to go to, articulating that in an email, maybe just a one-paragraph description of where you see yourself going after your bachelor's or master's degree, and maybe references to some recent articles or books that you've read, that have been very inspiring for you would be really helpful. And then some indication that you research that faculty member. It only takes maybe 5 minutes to look them up on the website, and maybe read one of their papers to see if it resonates with you. But some demonstration that you've looked them up and that you think that you're a good fit with their area of expertise would be super helpful.
Great, thank you so much to both of you. Just those are all the questions that I have. Is there anything else that either of you would want to add that would help students who are considering this program decide to move forward with it? And no worries if we've covered everything. Just wanted to give you a chance to add anything else.
Yeah, I think Catherine's feedback was really great about how to find somebody or connect with somebody, because I really did have the advantage where I already knew Catherine, and as soon as I read about this, I had her in mind as, oh wow, this would be a great opportunity. But I think, yeah, if you're not sure about that, then trying to definitely just communicate like shared interests and look for somebody that you have some sort of connection with that you think that you can develop would be really, really important.
And maybe another suggestion that I would have is just talking to is there a network of other CDIP mentees that students can contact?
Yeah, I believe we have that actually posted on our website of past winners from the CSU, but we could certainly also provide that if students contacted either Jeff or I individually.
That would be great. And I think just like thinking back upon my own journey, and maybe Dr. Honda and Dr. Leisenring have things to add. There's so much pay it forward going on. Like all of our faculty members at San Jose State have had somebody mentoring them in either a formal or informal capacity. So I remember when I had finished my doctoral degree and I was just kind of like fumbling around at Stanford as a lecturer in the urban planning program. And there was these two postdocs down the hall from me. When they found out that I was applying for a job at San Jose State, they grabbed me and they pull me into their office and they're like, show us your job talk, give me your letter. And they like had all these really wonderful comments. They weren't even in my discipline at all, but they wanted to help me so much. And faculty members really do want to help the next generation of scholars. So I would just say, don't be afraid about reaching out to a bunch of different faculty members, because you don't know who's gonna who you're gonna click with. So you might just It's not like dating, like one person at a time. Like send out a lot of emails and contacts, and then it's like fishing. So, you know, see who comes back, you know, who nibbles on your line when you throw the bait, and then you can decide also about who might be the best fit for you. Does that make sense?
It definitely does. Well, thank you both so much for taking the time to talk with us about your experiences. It's really inspirational actually to hear you both talk about how successful your mentee relationship has been, especially with regards to this program. So we just really appreciate you being here and giving your perspective.
Thank you for supporting the program, Jeff and Amy.
Thank you.
Great. Well, thanks for that information. I found it very useful and extremely interesting. So again, thank you, Catherine and Jason, and Amy for the questions. I'd like to move on now and talk a little bit about the application process and the guidelines. So how do I apply to the Cdip program? First, you need to download essentially a PDF version of the application packet. And we have on here the link that you can use to go download that PDF packet to use as kind of your template for your application. So that's the first thing you need to do. Next, you need to find a faculty mentor at a CSU campus and prepare the application. And finally, submit the application to myself because I'm currently serving as a campus coordinator, and my email is down at the bottom here. So your application packet should include the following: a completed application form, a current CV, a statement of qualifications and motivation, a collaborative plan of support, 3 professional letters of recommendation, and a recent faculty position announcement in your general field. So I believe the first 4 things on this list actually are forms. You need to gather your letters of recommendation from your recommenders, and then somehow find a CSU faculty position announcement. And I'll show you where you can go find one of those. But there is a checklist that is with the packet, so make sure you have all of this information put together for your completed application packet. Okay, so the collaborative plan of support is extremely important. So describe in the collaborative plan of support how you and your mentor will work together to ensure your success in a doctoral studies program and in securing a CSU tenure track faculty position. This should be jointly prepared by you and your mentor. So spend some time sitting down and planning out a strategy on what this plan is going to pretty much entail. Fortunately, we have sample plans that can be found on the College of Graduate Studies website for review to give you some ideas. So possible collaborative activities, you should outline future joint activities that foster your development in teaching, research, and service, such as collaborative syllabi or syllabus development and teaching, collaborative research projects and publications, collaborative grant proposals, joint participation in professional seminars and meetings, joint presentations in professional forums, involvement in campus committees and meetings, development of a competitive CV for faculty positions. Again, these are just some thoughts in areas that you might think about, but really, as far as this plan goes, you should be thinking about incorporating teaching, research, and service, which I consider the holy trinity of CSU employment. So when you're applying for CSU faculty positions, most of these positions are looking for candidates that are well-rounded in teaching, research, and service. Okay. What to avoid in writing a collaborative plan of support. So these are things that you should not be really thinking about. The CPS is about joint activities. So don't propose activities you plan to do by yourself. Remember, this is a partnership with a mentor and a mentee. You should be working together towards fulfilling your plan. The collaborative plan of support is about future activities. Don't write about what you have done in the past or what you are currently doing. That's primarily what your CV is for. This is really what you're going to be doing for your future in the next couple of years as you're going through your doctoral program. The CPS is about a well-rounded development. Don't focus only on teaching or research. One of the big components that many applicants do not have is service. So think about departmental service and you know, how you can kind of develop that area. The CPS is about making a realistic plan. Don't promise the moon and the stars. So make sure that you have something that is realistic. It has you know, measurable outcomes and can be executed. Okay, letters of recommendation. So you need 3 letters of recommendation, including one from your faculty mentor. So what should the letters address? The quality of your proposed plan of study, the quality of the institutions and departments where you propose to pursue your degree or are attending, your potential to succeed as a doctoral student, and your experience and motivation relevant to educating a diverse student body in the CSU. I can't stress enough how important having 3 really strong letters of recommendation are for your application packet. I would highly recommend that you find 3 recommenders who really know your background, your passion, and your interests. And so those qualities and those values will really show up and be highlighted in all of those letters. So I think it's really important to make sure that you have recommenders who know you very, very well. The CSU faculty position announcement. So you need to attach a copy of a recent CSU faculty position announcement. The position must be in your general field of study from recent years. Current position announcements are posted on the CSU Careers website. For hiring trends, you can consult the CSU faculty recruitment data on the CSU Chancellor's Office website. I would also recommend that you go and check out the HR or university personnel websites for any of the CSUs. They post those and they're usually there's recent ones updated up there, so you can essentially download a job listing from any one of those CSU human resource areas or departments. Okay, application submission. You need to submit your complete application package to myself or Amy no later than January 29th, 2021 for review and feedback. So when you submit essentially your paper application to us, we'll review it, and once we return it to you, you'll need to essentially make any revisions that we suggest and upload the materials to the Cdip site no later than February 14th, 2021. Be aware that our campus president approves and finalizes your application, and these must be uploaded to the Chancellor's website by March 1st, 2021, and be ready to go. Note that you must submit to the campus where your Cdip faculty mentor is employed. Check for their deadlines. Each campus has a different deadline. So if you're applying for a Cdip program and you're attending here, but your mentor really is employed at, say, for example, San Francisco State University or Chico State or somewhere around there, you need to check on their deadlines, because all the campuses have internal deadlines as far as when the coordinators want to review the packet, the campus president needs to approve and whatnot. The CSU deadline is March 1st, 2021. However, you should consider some of these other deadlines that are earlier for submission and consideration. Okay, what happens next? The College of Graduate Studies will work with you to polish your application package before online submission to the Chancellor's Office. You should not submit your application to the Chancellor's Office without CGS approval. You need to work with us to make sure that your application is filed correctly. and it gets submitted so that the president is able to review your application and your statement. The sooner you submit your packet, the more time we will have to work with you and your mentor to make sure that you have a strong application. Again, the president's office ultimately approves or rejects the applications from San Jose State, which come from our office. Awards are issued in May and based on the quality of the doctoral program, the academic achievement and potential of the candidate's potential to become a professor or faculty member, connection and commitment to the CSU and to its students, potential for successful collaboration between the scholar and the mentor, the potential for mentorship by the Cdip faculty mentor, and prioritization of discipline areas. Okay, so if you have any questions, we have our contact information here, both Associate Dean Leisnerig and myself. You can find our email addresses here, as well as Graduate Studies Coordinator Cheryl Cowan. Her information is here as well. I'd like to say that next Monday, November 9th, from 12 to 1 o'clock, we will be having a session where you're invited to come and ask questions regarding this program. So I hope to see you then. Amy, do you have any comments before we stop?
No, just that if you're interested in this program and you have further questions and you're not able to actually make our question and answer session on Monday, on the 9th, we will be recording it, but you also can contact Jeff or myself or Cheryl, like Jeff was saying, if you have specific questions. So I think that's it.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you on Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you.